Please pity Nigerians. Soludo passionately begs President Muhammadu Buhari. Hello everyone, welcome to Newsport TV. The governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to consider the hardship faced by common Nigerians as a result of currency redesign and ameliorate their plight. The governor said the current hardship is much and called on him to obey the ruling of the Supreme Court, which declares that the old and new notes should serve as legal tender for now. Soludo, who spoke during the burial mass of the First Republic Minister of Aviation, Chief Mbazulike Amechi, remarked, "I express gratitude to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, who is represented by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chief Chris Ngige. I call on the President to consider the agony faced by the Nigerian people as a result of the new Naira redesign policy. Since the Supreme Court has declared that the old and new Naira notes should remain legal tender until judgment is rendered, the President should obey the ruling of the Apex Court, which placed him in the position of the President of Nigeria." So this is the passionate plea by Charles Soludo, the governor of Anambra State, because really the redesigning cash crunch and everything has literally paralyzed economic activities in Nigeria and served as a threat to human lives. What I mean is that some people are not as affected as others. Some people who are used to online transactions and who, fortunately, their bank apps have been not too bad, have not been having so much issues. However, for a lot of Nigerians who are not in that opportune bracket, have had to suffer. They cannot pump their tires because they have to pay in cash. They cannot take public transport to their place of work. Some cannot even buy fuel in their cars. They can't buy foodstuff. They have children at home who are hungry, but they are unable to buy foodstuff with their hard-earned money because the CBN is refusing and the banks are refusing to disburse new Naira notes for use. A lot of Nigerians make their income from daily activities. We have the bike men, market women, we have the non-skilled workers who have to deal with cash, and people taking transportation from one point to another, plus the fuel scarcity that has made the prices of the cost of transportation skyrocketed into the skies is just making life so miserable. And the pleadings, the videos we've seen where elderly people burst in tears in front of banks. Some have brought their blankets and duvets to sleep in front of the bank. And some have even had to strip to show their frustrations. People are depressed, angry, frustrated, and honestly, the mental health of Nigerians at this time is not in a good space. A lot of Nigerians are not in a good headspace right now because the suffering is too much. People can barely feed. And today, when the president came out to, address us as Nigerians, today, the 16th of February, he insisted that there's nothing that can be done except the fact that the old 200 naira should still remain a legal tender, while 500 and 1,000 should not be accepted again. But from the 10th of April, the 200 naira will also cease to be a legal tender. And people are wondering to say, just allowing 200 naira to flow would not solve the problem. It will not solve the problem. And it's kind of make the president have this kind of military stance that has always been known before. The beauty of democracy is to hear the voice of the people. And when the voice of the people is all about anguish, is all about pain, is about suffering, frustration and everything, then a leader should know that that is not just working. A leader is meant to aspire hope, to give encouragement, to make things a lot easier for its citizens. But in this situation, the opposite is the case. Because the Supreme Court has said something different and the president is saying something different, and people are saying in a democratic setting, the moment the highest authority in the land decide to disregard the ruling of the Supreme Court, then there's a problem because it's going to go all the way down. And of course, some people, even in the same ruling APC party, have come out to share their disgust at this. We have the governor of Kaduna State, Kogi State, and Zamfara State. That's El Rufai, Yaya Bello and Matawale come out to take the FG to court. And that's why we have the Supreme Court proceedings. And also, the anti-people stance for this administration is undesirable. It's just unimaginable that, we could be experiencing this in a civilian setting, but in a military style. It's just so appalling. And this is Charles Soludo begging the president to say, please, pity Nigerians. This is punishment. This is like you're snuffing life out of them. People are not feeding. And we've had pockets of riots everywhere, in Ondo State, Delta State, Edo State, and some other states as well, where we have youths come out to burn some banks out of anger and frustration. A top bank in Nigeria have closed all the branches across Nigeria because they are not able to, even their mobile banks have actually crashed even before this event. And people have been complaining rather before this event. And when this started, the mobile app was not accessible. And when they had a lot of hits on their branches, they had to just close up. So this is paralyzing a lot. Those ones who bank with that particular bank are even hopeless on how to get their money out. And they have to feed, they have to send their children to school, they have to run their daily lives, which a lot of our politicians, because of their elitist nature, do not feel what they are feeling. I think the gap between the behalf and all of that, governor so they have no idea and the of governed what we go through to be able to make it in wide. Our everyday lives. They have no clue. And when honestly, they're in their air-conditioned offices, air-conditioned cars, with their protocol running up and down for them, getting things done on their back. It was a depressing broadcast to the nation. But that's not unexpected, because every broadcast is always made like this really inspires hope in us, the citizens of Nigeria. So APC is not standing a good chance as it is right now for anybody who is factual and able to read between the lines that they've not done well. Why should you let somebody who has not done well repeat it again? When lives are at stake because of one sentiment of religion or tribalism, please, let's choose well on the 25th of February 2023. So for Governor Charles Soludo begging the president, let's hope he's going to hear, but it doesn't seem much like that. To our existing subscribers, thank you for joining, and to our previous subscribers, thank you for always stopping by. Please stay safe out there. This too shall pass. May God bless our dear country, Nigeria. Bye for now.